When I'm in Charlotte, I tune into the Chocolate Box. We back, revved up. Let's go.
Good evening. My name is Russell Swilley, aka Gullah Jack. It is my pleasure to host this show, The Chocolate Box, courtesy of Brother T.X. Green. I'm here with Brother Reggie Singleton. He of various activities and organizations. We're going to focus in on the organization that is critical to the transition of young men into manhood. You know, suffice it to say that manhood is a creative process. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to Reggie Singleton, and I'll ask him a question as it relates to the genesis as to why he got involved in this process. What was the chronology, brother?
Good morning. Thank you, Brother Swilley, and to the viewing audience. It's always an honor to visit the Chocolate Box, to share our work, and to just let people know what we're up to. But the genesis of the Males Place came out of a need. There was a need to reclaim and to utilize our past, our history, our traditions, to further inculcate and to instill valuable lessons that from the past that people could implement into the lives to solve some of our problems today. So it is a part of a long-lasting tradition where I came out of on the Sea Islands of Charleston, South Carolina, where the elders and the community made sure that the younger people that was coming up knew what their duty and what their obligations were.
Okay, brother, I understand that part of the genesis emerged as a result of your involvement in the 90s with the Million Man March. Mm-hmm. What effect did that have on you in terms of establishing an impetus as it relates to going forth and creating this much-needed institution?
Absolutely. I was greatly inspired, motivated, and moved by the black men coming together from all walks of life under operational unity, and I took the missions and what the minister and the others suggested we do, which is to go back home and work. So I took that very serious. And I wanted to really solve some of those problems that are so persistent in our community, and not just merely watch, talk about our young people, laugh at our young people, and but we wanted to be a conduit to fix and solve some of those problems. And so those mandates that was urged at the Million Man March really resonated with me, and many of the, God bless the other Masharis, Wishari, and elders and supporters through the years. And certainly the fact that we've been able to continue to be very relevant, even in 2023, to continue to be relevant is in honor and respect to those Masharis and elders who have historically been very, very supportive of the Males Place. We've been very fortunate to have angels come through and support our mission, not only with private funding, but also with their work, with their inspiration. And so there's a debt of gratitude to a whole lot of people.
Okay, can you talk about, brother, some of the processes that you have been fortunate to embark upon that have resulted in this entire holistic reclamation process?
Yes, sir. At the Males Place, Inc., we have 3 major tenets. That's manhood training,
Okay.
and we meet once a week from 6 to 8 on Wednesdays. Our second major tenet is the agriculture and farming. So we're drawing on some of those time-honored Sea Island traditions I grew up with doing seasonal migrant work. And Brother Swilley, I thought, once I got my degree from the University of South Carolina, that I would not go into the fields again. But as I got my first occupation after college was working at a prison, and I realized that many of these young brothers did not have good attorneys, did not have great options, and not having a great support system. So I felt that it was a great way to appeal and to draw on my experiences in agriculture. So the weekly manhood training, the agriculture, and then social justice community service is our third major tenet. And we also have a international travel program. And we've traveled throughout the United States in addition to various countries around the world. We're scheduled to go to Ghana, West Africa for our 3rd time this coming June. And so we use this to expose our young people to a broader world, a broader experience, and to help really make their development, to tie and link their development with the broader implications for our community and our people, that they have a responsibility and a duty to be a man. And really there are no other options. You be a man or else. And it's important that we have them understand that they have this duty and they have this obligation to serve and to improve the conditions of our people. We use history as a means to help them understand contextually that things that have happened in the past could happen again if we're not students of history. We don't study the lessons, the mistakes, the challenges, the strategies. And we must be able to draw from our history, as well as other people's history that we study as well, so that we could benefit from that. Dr. Amos Wilson, who's an incredible, one of our greatest scholars, one of our greatest teacher, reminds us that in many respects, Charlotte is a Skinner's box. It's a Skinner box, and we are fundamentally the rats in those boxes.
Yes, sir.
And it's imperative that we understand that there is a conditioning, there is a reward, there's an incentive when you serve the interests of the person who has created the box. And so we must acknowledge and be aware of those ways in which people want to incentivize that may be in opposition of our interests, and not be a conduit for that, but to recognize those lessons, those mistakes from the past, so that we could improve upon them and help to reorganize our people, and so that we could live and manage our lives and our families and our communities with some level of dignity and respect.
Yes, sir. Well, clearly, to piggyback what you have just articulated, it is obvious that the agricultural component is key in developing a self-sustaining community.
Yes, sir.
But you also mentioned, if I can digress, the travel experiences to Ghana and various other places. Belize, if I'm not mistaken.
Belize, Cuba. Yeah.
Cuba. How have you been able to procure the necessary resources to embark on these international experiences?
Well, over the years, we've been very fortunate to be able to have private donors. And again, these are just hardworking black men and women and people from other communities who not only like what we do, but they value what we do. They've been able to help with these opportunities for these young people. But I would tell you, Brother Swilley, the most significant is the skin in the game. It's a mechanism that we have where our young people sell produce, vegetables, much of which comes out of our garden. And we think it's very important that people just don't give us stuff, but that where parents and our young people understand that Yeah, people will support you, but only when we are seeking to support ourselves first. So we have gotten some funding recently.
Bravo.
Yes, yes, yes. We have gotten some funding recently, but I would say that I want to always, I always want to make sure that we are not just built on or reliant upon grants or funding from the outside. It's always important that we make sure that our young people and our parents are involved in their efforts and our activities for freedom and for liberty.
And also, I can see the value of a young man transitioning from being a sucker of milk to a producer, you know, which is a problem that is prevalent in the African American community.
Yes.
The problem being one of conspicuous consumption.
Right.
Yeah. So can you talk about some of the lieutenants?
Yes, sir.
We want to pay homage to. I mean, I know Brother AJ. I'm particularly fond of him because of his spirit, for lack of a better term. You know, brother's always receptive, always polite. I don't detect any degree of toxicity, you know, when I encounter this brother. You want to talk about some of the brothers who...
Absolutely. In fact, we're very fortunate to have a long list of incredibly gifted brothers who are balanced, and Mashari AJ is one great example. Mashari AJ leads the Nubian kingdom.
Okay.
And so he is responsible for 5 to 6 of our warriors, where he does a weekly check-in. Each of the Mashari provides a weekly check-in. We have 4 kingdoms: the Ashanti kingdom out of Ghana, the Dogon kingdom from the Mali region, the Nubian kingdom from Kemet and Sudan, and of course the Zulu kingdom from the South African region. So Mashari AJ leads our Nubian kingdom, and so he does the weekly check-ins. He also supervises the elections that we have, the annual elections for the young warriors who are in leadership.
Okay.
So we elect warriors like the chief warrior.
Okay.
We also have the Waziri of Information, the Waziri of Peace and Arms, as well as the Waziri of Agriculture. And so each of these young people assume these roles that are elected. They're elected or appointed by their peers. And so it's a great way to provide them with leadership. So we also have Waziri or Mashari Varnell Bieneme.
Okay.
And Mashari Varnell is over the Zulu kingdom.
Okay.
And he is an incredibly gifted man with great, he's very dependable, very reliable. And also we have Mashari Troy Allen, who provides an incredible consistency with our academics. So he handles and making sure that the young brothers are on point with their assignments, their grades, so he's able to monitor their academic progress. So we want them to be successful and to have great self-esteem and everything, but we also want to make sure that they're producing and handling their business when it comes to these books. We have Mashari Carlton Wizard, who is over the Dogon Kingdom. He is one of our newer Masharis, but continues to do exceedingly well. And we also have Mashari Omari Brown, who is over the Ashanti Kingdom. So we're very grateful for the leadership that these men provide, in addition to the elders who are in support too. So we have the Mashari, and then the elders are a little bit in support capacities, and we love and admire and respect all that they do.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. During this matriculation, brother, is there a general or specific metric, okay, that they have to surpass or achieve in order to be classified or characterized or categorized as a successful Males Place participant. You know, what's the step-by-step process
Yes, sir.
and the end game that you hope to achieve before they leave and return possibly to the Males Place or go out into the world?
Great question, brother. We take our brothers in at whatever level. We bring them in at whatever level they're at.
Okay.
They're 12 to 18. They're quite diverse. Some might be on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, or and then you may have others that might be exceedingly brilliant. But we have great expectations and levels of accountability for all in terms of attendance, participation, follow-up. And so we take them preferably from 12 to 18, and we do a rites of passage ceremony where we, in addition to what they have been achieving over the years, we specifically assign instructors to our young men to where they get some specific instructions on a variety of manhood-related topics. And once upon them completing it, we take them through the initiation. And there is a pledge, there is a ceremony that we take them through, and upon completion with that, we then say that they have graduated and are in good standings.
Excellent. You know, you mentioned Brother Amos Wilson. You know, he's one of my favorite scholars, and
Yes, sir.
he drew inspiration from the work of the anthropologist Gilmore, based on his studies of the Samburu tribe. And the criteria that was established by Wilson was that a young man would say, he would state formally, "I will not eat or participate in the festivities until I first fed my mother and the children in the village." You know, and then if you starve to death, Wilson can be quite blunt and direct. Well, then,
He was.
you know, if you starve to death, well, then so be it. Interesting in his criteria for the development of manhood, along with many of the techniques we saw, even if you took a cursory glance at a TV serial Roots. You know, the cutting of the male organ, the foreskin, circumcision, absolutely. You know, painful indeed, but it minimized the possibility that a young man would succumb to impulse, impulsive behavior. Okay, brother, so how do you hold up given this myriad of responsibilities? How do you maintain your personal health and wellness?
Yes, sir. Well,
because I've known you for 30 years, brother, and I know you have to be directly involved.
yes, sir.
Okay. How does Baba Singleton maintain his fitness and wellness?
This is my assignment. I believe this is a divine assignment that has been gifted to me, and I believe that these wonderful people who have supported me, like my wife, Gwen, married 33 years and 3 wonderful children, allow me to do the work because they support and bless me from our home. But also people like yourself, Brother Swilley.
So nice of you to say, brother.
Absolutely, Baba Macaroon, and so many wonderful brothers through the years who have encouraged me, who have supported me, and who have rolled their sleeves up and jumped in. And so I love the black uniform, and I want to see us win. And so this is my mission, this is my purpose for living. And I pray and hope to see a day in which we're all victorious and we win and we're able to solve our problems.
Yes, sir. And you're fortunate to have the beautiful Gwen to be married to your mission, per se.
Yes, sir.
And suffice it to say, 33 years, black love is a revolutionary act, to quote our departed queen, warrior, the great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing.
Yes, sir.
But actually, this will lead into my next question. What has been the response on the part of the mothers in general to the work that you've done, or do you find yourself in many instances dealing with young men who come from a single mother background?
Yes, sir. Most mothers, single mothers, I would say, they come to us for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
Some are in crisis when they come, and some of them have had experiences, maybe delinquencies with their sons, and they're looking for some magic wand that we could wave and fix their sons from what they've been doing for 15 years. Some are very thoughtful, and they recognize that it is the family and the village working cooperatively, working together. And so some see this as a prescription, and so they want to get their sons into a very positive African-centered manhood training development organization. So there is a number of reasons. And we have very supportive parents, many of who gets it. And, you know, there are others just like any place else where people, again, looking for quick fixes. And for those individuals who are looking for quick fixes without any level of involvement, generally don't last very long. They're looking for very short-term responses and answers and ways to just get out of whatever crisis they may be in at the time. But and just as I live my life, I'm about being slow and steady. Just slow and steady, being very deliberate and doing things repetitively, and which might be boring to some people. I equate it to, you know, I talk a lot of sports, I equate it to old Alabama Crimson Tide, you know, just 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Just keep winning those downs, and so you go 10-play drive, 75 yards. I prefer that over a Hail Mary and 80-yard pass that looks good and shiny, and you do your end zone dance, but I prefer the good, steady consistency and stability that we provide for our young people. I think it's one of our greatest gifts is the stability that we provide for these young black men and their families. They get to see countervailing images of upright black men, the Masharis and mentors in our organization. And so, so for many of these parents, like the one we have graduating, who has had 2 sons graduate from our program. We have one that will be graduating and going through our rites of passage on the 28th. You know, they get it. Certainly we're not for everybody, because we can be demanding. We do ask for accountability and levels of involvement, and some people are not willing to do that. But I would tell you that we are a culture, we are a community, we are a family at the Males Place, where people understand that we're all in support of one another, and we collectively value each and whatever each family brings.
Brother, I would be remiss if I did not ask you, to whatever degree you can, address the complex issue of escalating violence in teen murder. It seems as if we are devoid of spirituality. Can you, to whatever degree, address this most complex issue, the despiritualization of our youth, which leads to the objectification of our youth, the demonization of each other as black men, and the subsequent incessant instances of violence that we hear in the news? Just the other day, 19-year-old that killed a 14-year-old in his own home. Can you speak to that issue?
Yes, sir. I'm reminded of one of Malcolm's great speeches, "Who taught you to hate yourself?" And certainly to an extent, that could explain some of it, in that we don't value the person that you seek to dismiss, disrespect, let alone put a bullet in or cut a person and disregard who they are. And it's important that we, again, provide services and programming and support those and fund those organizations and entities that provide levels of self-love and space for these black males, and where the activities become prescriptive and preventive. Now, I think it's important that you support preventive as well as the intervention, but I think much of it has to be centered around prevention, or else we'll continue to be having the vigils and crying in the streets, blood flowing in the streets. And so I think it's important that we really invest our time into preventive activities, and where the Males Place, or this model of manhood training, be a part of all communities, and where it's easily recognizable, and where we're just not watching the news and watching our people just literally destroy themselves.
Well, I commend you, brother, on the inclusion of the cultural component. You know, culture, according to Dr. Ani, is the petri dish by which we produce Africans. We suffer from cultural AIDS. We're talking about the Urugo virus, the inculcation of an attitude which results in black on black violence, self-disdain, suicide. To kill another brother is tantamount to self-murder. Wilson would mention on a regular basis that the brain is so organized to where when you aggress against the thing that you hate the most. And in our case, it is the African self. Okay, in the few minutes we have remaining, brother, is there anything that you would like to add that's pertinent to the direction in which you're going?
Well, one of the things I believe in is that if our problems are to be solved, it's going to require us doing it. There is no election. There's no any messianic figure that's going to come and rescue us. It's going to have to be us. And I truly believe that the organized black man will be at the forefront of that. We need to pull our communities together, and a lot of those, the level of violence and the promotion of filth and trash, I think will continue to permeate itself unless we take on that leadership and to pull our community and people together.
Well, brother, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yes.
I am Gullah Jack, Russell Swilley, and this has been The Chocolate Box. I've been sitting here with Baba Reggie Singleton, CEO of The Males Place. Thank you for sharing your insight, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Chocolate Drop with The Chocolate Box Presents and
Tia Capers of My Sankofa Table.
And we want to encourage you to tune into both our programs. The Chocolate Box comes on every Tuesday at 12 noon and then again at 9 p.m. And what about My Sankofa Table?
My Sankofa Table airs every second and fourth Saturday of the month, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
On Spectrum Cable Channel 21 and AT&T Uverse Channel 99. So you never know what you're going to get.
Nope.
You can watch The Chocolate Box Presents or
My Sankofa Table. What else?
and everyone is welcome at the table.
Absolutely.
Hope to see you there.
See you there. Bye.